Good morning all, or greetings I should say, good day from, oh no, not Kit Kat and me, but he's there, he just escaped me. Right, yes, a better night for me, so yeah, here we go, we got him, hey, say hello, wave hand, no, not going to, okay. Here we go. Can you get them? Yes, right, let's get to it then, shall we? Set that clock of mine. Right. Right. Kit Kat. Should we continue? I want to get hold of a. Now, where is it? I think I shall use. It's blue, but I had a smaller piece of blue here. Evidently not. Right. I just want to create some of these shiny tops to these rocks. I'm just using my pale blue, baby blue pastel. And it's especially on some of the ones more on this right hand side. And here I'm just using simple line work to work with form. Don't even, there's no point, you can't even get into those cupboards, Kit Kat. I don't really have much to say about the state of the nation today, I don't think. All seems to be quiet at this point. Hey? Oh, please, come on, Kit Kat, buddy. Please, stop it now. No, there's no point. So the the mutterings really now are of making arrests of perpetrators. Yeah. see what that. We'll see what the Kit Kat, really. Come on now, stop messing with things. Yeah, please. Yes, let's see what that offers up, shall we? Yeah, there's lots and lots and lots of now, lots of backpedaling, lots of trying to spruce up positioning, etc. This is what I said. No, that's not what you said. This is what you said. This is what I said. But that's it is just quite comical, actually, to watch these people who have been, you know, they've had this monopoly for so long of the monopoly of rule, and they've become so accustomed to their untouchability, so accustomed that they could do anything that they liked, anything, and it seems to be catching up on them, because the people, that is us, all of us, now want answers. Now we want accountability. Now we're not going to take your stories anymore. Now we're not going to take your meager offerings to justify your deeds and your awful deeds of treason. Not to the government, it's by the government and cronies to the nation, to the people, to the country. They don't really have sufficient answers, I don't think. I don't know when patience is going to run out, when all of the sudden flurry of action, arrests and what have you, and non-arrests are also showing up. People that are going, well, you know, why are you not arresting these people? Why are you making a big show of these ones but not these ones? So this is now the state of play in the good old SA. And the platitudes and the muppetry is just not going to cut it anymore, really. I don't think that they've quite realised it yet, or maybe they have. I certainly hope well, I don't hope anything for their sakes, but if they haven't got it yet, they should very soon, because we've got an angry nation that is tired, sick and tired of their crap. It has been going on and on and on for the past almost 3 decades. Well, not quite, not necessarily under Nelson Mandela's time. I think he certainly had a vision, but it wasn't. It was just lip service, really. These people who had sat and waited on the sidelines for so many years, promises were made to them of the glory and the riches, and then they wanted it. And then when they did get it, they absolutely made a goon show out of it. And it's culminated in these few events of absolute greed and anarchy. In a complete resounding backfire. And that left them sitting, looking like the fools that they are. How long did they think that they could just take indiscriminately, without recourse? It beggars belief, to be honest with you. This is what I've been saying to you, is that this is what I'm still trying to comprehend, is how they thought they could get away with it forever. It's almost like as if they thought they had the fountain of life, that was just endless, that would just keep on offering up and offering up and offering up whatever and however much they could take. It doesn't work that way, and they found that to their detriment. And what's sad is that they've done it without conscience, with absolute deliberation or at least with absolute deliberateness to their people, to their own people, to those people that with a reason that they came into power, and the reason they stayed in power. To those very same people, the ones that they've screwed over the most. And they didn't get it. The people didn't get that they were doing it. They didn't get what they were doing. It's just all absolutely. Now we've got it's like the setting the fox amongst the pigeon coop. Yeah, they just took and took and took and took. Anyway, let's see what comes of this all, huh? Right, so the water that's streaming over this, well, some of it, that's streaming over this the edge here will be mostly with my acrylic paint. There's a lot to be done. Not that it's an absolute deluge or anything close, but there's more droplets and lots of little lovely tinkly twinkly bits. And those will come tomorrow. Right now I'm using my compressed charcoal to accentuate some of these extremely dark areas. I have been having the most incredibly vivid dreams lately as well. And this last one was particularly interesting in that it featured a home that was down the road from me where I grew up in Durban North. And it was a house that was incongruously, because Durban North was only established in the earlier parts of the 20th century, and this was a Victorian home, and one of these sort of historical site type places. And anyway, and this chap, he was a friend of mine, completely, again, not part of the setting, but friend of mine that, and he had this one of those tables, one of those sort of, it was a sort of an octagonal table that had all of these little panels all around, huge big table, with different facets and what have you, and all of these had little hidey holes and places, secret compartments and what have you, and at the touch of a button on the wall, on that little brass button thing on the wall, this thing had a mechanism inside, a kind of a clockwork thing that buzzed and whizzed, and parts of this thing expanded and opened up, and absolutely fascinating thing. just was, yeah, I was just in absolute awe and wonder with this contraption of 19th century wizardry. Yeah. And then there was some oaf with us that was also looking at this thing, and there were like these, there was a section that had these like little pull out things that would pull out a scroll of an image, a picture, a photograph, but large, sort of A2 in size, and this guy was just pulling them out, just bleh, bleh, one of them actually just ripped off the end of its attachment and just, completely, I was absolutely mortified. He was, so what? So, quite a bizarre dream, about this table, all about this table. And then the guy was sort of, this friend of mine was sort of, because I'd grown up in the area, of course, he was asking me about some questions that he had about that he was trying to, stuff that he'd found, documents that he'd found and what have you, and I was trying to look at why certain things were a certain way, and I was realizing that there was subdivision and servitudes and all this kind of stuff that were the reason for certain terminologies and names given, etc. It was fascinating. It's so very, very vivid. So yeah, I love those kinds of dreams. It just takes you down a really like a Alice's Wonderland type of thing. Especially as I particularly enjoy antiquity and intrigue with things like that. And I do love sort of Victorian architecture and things. And maybe this table, it was oak. I think it was a 19th century jobby, because he said it wasn't. I was quite surprised that it was less valuable than what I had assumed it would be. And anyway, but it was, could have been like a 16th century, 17th century scenario, but still absolutely fascinating. What's up, Kit Kat? Right, I think that it's time now to begin working on the foliage up above. Right, let's make a beninging. First of all, I think I shall use the lighter colours, and I want to use some of this green. And is there any little bits of it down here? Doesn't appear to be. In there, no. Right then, let's use this one to peel a bit off. Come on, come on. Right, so I want to create this bright green to begin with, followed by yellow, and then a darker green, and then on top of that more charcoal, I think. So let me establish this. This is going to cover the most part of the top of this piece. So remember I said right at the beginning that there's a fairly small sort of aperture here that is then, and then all around there's this canopy. It's starting to clear up, starting to thin out in this top region here. So just to get a sense of this forest enveloping us. In its green wonder. Use a bit of yellow as well here. And I'm literally doodling here. Just stubby type of doodling. What I do want to do, however, in this area is to create this pinprick of light. Guy, you need clean fingers for the, excuse me, for this. I think that I should It's not a starburst, but I'm just using that radiating these sort of starburst type lines for now. Anyway, that'll do for now. So it's kind of just over there, just to get my bearings on it. I'm using this dark-ish olive. Where is the little thing so that I can take it off? You absolute, there we go. Yes, no, maybe, no, I can't find it. Gosh. Fool. I'll use a number of different greens in this part. It's all backlit by the sun, which is there, spiking through. See what other colours I'm going to use at this stage. There we go. I can try that one as well. This one. So you might have noticed, I think I did mention this on Monday, but previous Monday, but one, is that I had got this rattle, this knock sorted out. 2 little strips of foam in strategically placed, and it's now as smooth as anything. No knocks and rattles and irritations. Except for other sounds, like my chair. So I have to build up this series of squiggles all around here, layer on layer, color on color, to form this, the essence of this canopy. How are we doing for time? A little over 20 minutes. So of course we've got, you know, obviously where the objects have sunlight directly behind them, they are going to be the darkest, because there's the most contrast. However, the leaves are semi-translucent, so that they do show through some light in terms of greens and reflections perhaps off the waxy leaves, and so on and so on and so on. So that's the reason why there's a lot of green in this area and not just black silhouette, if you get my drift. This has to fill in extensively, actually. My only wish was that this particular easel could drop a little bit lower, so that I didn't have to be stretching here, because it's quite difficult to work stretched out like this. But anyway. starting to take shape. Let's go with some more. Let's play with some more greens, light green and bright green, bright spring green and yellow as well behind all of this. So, as I work towards completion, this just needs to build and build and build. And as I said, I will also be using my charcoal and perhaps some black conte to accentuate the contrast with this foliage. Let's do a bit of yellow then, shall we? I'm using this pale lemony yellow. And back to some dark green again. Right, let's now start with a little bit of charcoal in these spots just to begin working with that. Yeah, so you can start to see how this is beginning to emerge as I build this. Canopy a little bit. It's not the thickest part of the canopy, but it just gives that sense of encroaching, and the reason why all of this is dark, shadowy. So there's a lot of intrigue going on in these lower regions, and then I'll be adding a lot of levity and lightness with the twinkling water as it comes over. And yes, it won't be just these little trickles. It will be more than that, such that I shall be using my toothbrush, I do believe. Goodness, but when you're using these kind of techniques, it takes quite a long time to cover ground. 3 or 4 minutes left. Let's actually try a little bit over here with my compressed charcoal. Yeah. So tomorrow I shall be using this more extensively. Smudging a little bit. I'll use my eraser tomorrow as well. Bring in that little depth and contrast that this needs. Where it needs it. Rightio, folks. I think that's it for today. Made some significant progress with the foliage, and I'll just bring it all in tomorrow, along with significant highlights and what have yous. So yes, right. That's it then. Not much of a moody session today. Kind of got over it. So yes, thank you for joining, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for your comments, etc., etc., etc. And do join me tomorrow as I attempt towards a completion on this piece. And do be good, and oodles and oodles and oodles of toodles, and see you again soon. So take it easy, have a good day further, and be good, be kind, be gentle, just be. Alright, bye bye guys. But always doodle.